protect. Since the situation in Syria is getting worse and worse, and especially areas where some rebels or some terrorists are controlling, the risks of genocide is there, especially against the minorities. We've seen that in Homs and other areas. Did the Special Advisor for Prevention of Genocide present any report to the Secretary General on the subject, and what was his recommendations if he did?
Well, as you'll realize, there is a new advisor in place, and I'm sure that he will in due course be briefing the Secretary General on his views on the matter, if he has not already done so. Looking at it in a broader context, it's clear that all those responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity should be and will be held accountable from whichever side.
But on prevention, we were talking here of prevention, so probably action should be taken before that happens.
You're absolutely right, and the Secretary General has spoken very clearly about the international community's failure in recent months to protect those who need protection in Syria, and he's spoken very clearly about that. I'm sure you saw that this morning. Yes, Stefano.
Some more questions?
Recently, Mr. Jafari, the ambassador, His Excellency, the ambassador of Syria, raised the issue that Germany, the Bundestag in Germany, is discussing the possibility of receiving the Christians from Syria.
Receiving, sorry?
The Christians who may immigrate from Syria, the risks of genocide against them, especially after the infestation of terrorists in the region, and mainly in the north of Syria. The possibility of genocide and ethnic cleansing is there, and it's talked about. Do you believe that the Security Council or the Secretariat should prepare a report on the risk of such eventualities happening in Syria, and how serious such a threat is?
You mentioned the refugee issue, and I want to tell you that my country and other countries, the people in my country, feel for the refugees. It's a big humanitarian crisis. How can we not feel compassion with the victims of that violence? So people in my country ask, how can we help them? And the answer is that the priority should be help for the refugees on the ground, be it in Syria itself or be it in the neighboring countries where hundreds of thousands now sought refuge in camps. This is our priority. We've been very generous in contributing financially. We contributed a tenth of millions of dollars to the international efforts. So this is the state of play. The refugee crisis concerns us, moves our citizens, but we want to help them in the region first and foremost.
Sorry. I can have a follow-up. This does not answer, the risk of genocide and ethnic cleansing. Do you believe that the risk is there, especially with so many factions are fighting their affiliations to many doctrines or ideologies? Do you believe the risk is there, and is the United Nations doing enough to prevent such a genocide from happening?
I'm speaking in my national capacity now. We've been warning all along, since the outset of that crisis, of an intensification of killing and of ethnic tensions. That was our warning, and that's why we felt it so urgent that at the inception of this crisis, something meaningful is done. I think the responsibility for this escalation of violence, including the ethnic dimension, now lies squarely with President Assad and his security forces, and I think he will have to be accountable one day for that failure to stop the killing and initiate a meaningful process of transition. That is what I would have to say on that question. 1 or 2 years, it is, without any doubt, a first-rate regional actor